Look closely enough, and you can see yourself in them. Often more than once. Should you grow tired of sorrow's baubles and trinkets, it would be an honor to host you at the House of the Undying. You are always welcome, Mother of Dragons.
What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this one is the mysteries of the glass candles solved. One of the biggest mysteries still left in A Song of Ice and Fire is the glass candles. What are they used for? Who's using them? And what importance do they have for the rest of the story? We're going to go through all those things in this video. But before I do, I would like to say we did hit the mark of 400 likes on our last video, and as I said before, anytime one of my videos hit 400 likes, I will give away a $25 gift card for Netflix to the winner, and I will be announcing the winner at the end of this video. And if you would like to have a chance to win, all you have to do is be subscribed, leave a comment, and like the video, and I will randomly pick one of these comments to be the winner if this video hits 400 likes. That being said, let's get into this video. Since they were not featured in the show, the first thing we must do is answer the question, what is a glass candle? A glass candle is a candle made out of obsidian, also known as dragon glass. Historically, they burned, but they have not been reported to burn in recent memory. Now, by hearing that, they do sound unremarkable, right? You could understand why they did not put these things in the television show. But let's break it down a little further, and I'll give you some more history of these glass candles so you can understand exactly why they are so important. 1 green and 3 black candles were brought to the Citadel from Valyria 1,000 years before the doom of Valyria. They are tall and twisted with sharp edges. These candles give off an unpleasant, bright light that does strange things to colors. White becomes as bright as fresh fallen snow. Yellow shines like gold. Red turns to flame, and shadows become so black that they look like holes in the world. It is claimed that when these glass candles burn, the sorcerers can see across mountains, seas, and deserts. They give men visions and dreams and communicate with one another a half a world apart. Now we hear someone say about all the fancy colors, that's all nice and that's cute and everything, but that is not truly what the power of these glass candles are. Now the power of the glass candles are the ability to be able to communicate with people across mountains, seas, and deserts, and to give men visions and dreams. So it's kind of like the back in the day, like cell phone, or maybe even the video chat if you want to go that far. It does give you the ability to give other people's dreams, which is something we cannot do in our modern technology. But if we had to base it around something, I guess that's what we have to base it around, because we know back then they're delivering messages with ravens, right? So this is a major upgrade, and if somebody had these abilities, it would help them out immensely. So that brings us to who has these glass candles in A Song of Ice and Fire. And for what I can gather, I got 4 people that I know that have these glass candles. 1 is Marwyn, 2 is Quaithe, 3 is Urathon Nightwalker, and 4 is Euron Greyjoy. So let's break down each of these people and see why they need these glass candles so we can fully understand what their purpose is in this story. A lot of our knowledge that we get about the glass candles comes from Sam when he travels to the Citadel and he interacts with Marwyn and all the people out there. It's Leo Tyrell who said, "The light was queer and bright, much brighter than any beeswax or tallow candle. It cast strange shadows and the flame never flickered, not even when a draft blew through the open door behind me." Then Sam gets into this conversation with Marwyn. What feeds a dragon's fire? Marwyn seated himself upon a stool. All Valyrian sorcery was rooted in blood or fire. The sorcerers of the Freehold could see across mountains, seas, and deserts with one of these glass candles. They could enter a man's dreams and give him visions, and speak to one another half a world apart, seated before their candles. Do you think that might be useful, Slayer? We would have no more need of ravens, only after battles. The Archmaester peeled a sour leaf off a bale, shoved it in his mouth, and began to chew it. Tell me all you told our Dornish Sphinx. I know much of it, and more, but some small parts may have escaped my notice. So what it seems that Marwyn wants to use the candles for is communication. Because after he's had this conversation with Sam, he says the only thing ravens would be good for is after battles. So what does that mean? That would mean they would be good to eat the bodies of the dead people after battles. We would no longer need them to communicate with each other if these glass candles are working, and they are working for him. Now before I give you more about Marwyn, let's go into person number 2, and that's Quaithe.
Who are you?
I'm no one. But she is the mother of dragons. She needs true protectors, now more than ever. They shall come day and night to see the wonder born into the world again. And when they see, they shall lust.
We know that she's communicating with Daenerys with a glass candle because she says this. Are you here? No. Hear me, Daenerys Targaryen. The glass candles are burning. Soon comes the pale mare, and after her the others, Kraken and Dark Flame, Lion and Griffin, the Sun's Son and the Mummer's Dragon. Trust none of them. Remember the Undying. Beware the perfume seneschal. So Daenerys asks her, are you here? And she says no, but she still wants her to listen to her. So that proves to us that she does have a glass candle. And what she used this glass candle for was to see into the future. So now Marwyn's main purpose was to communicate. Now her main purpose was to see into the future. And then she used it to communicate with Daenerys Targaryen. And it's a warning that she's giving her. She's saying, beware of these people. So let's go through them right now. She says Kraken and Dark Flame. So that is Victorion Greyjoy and Moqorro, who just happen to be traveling together. Next she says Lion and Griffin, which is Tyrion Lannister and Jon Connington. Next she says the Sun's Son and the Mummer's Dragon. Those two people are Quentin Martell and the fake Aegon, who is growing around. We know him as Fagon. That is the Mummer's Dragon. She's also telling her earlier than that the glass candles are burning, meaning that other people could be spying on her, just like the way Quaithe is, so she has to be careful. Wrapping that all the way back to Marwyn, if he is on this list, it is as the perfume seneschal. Now we know that seneschals are selected by lottery every year, so it could be possible that Marwyn did serve as a seneschal previously, and it is rumored that the Maesters may have had something to do with the death of some of the dragons in the past. That could be his plan, but maybe not. We have no evidence going both ways. In my opinion, if that was his plan, I do believe that he will come to grips when he realizes that the White Walkers are truly real and understand that Daenerys' dragons are key to the victory over them. I have so much to say about him, I will have to make a video on that. So let's get to the final 2 people that we know have glass candles, Urathon Nightwalker and Euron Greyjoy. And I'm linking them together because a lot of people believe they are the same person, and I will address that theory also. Now we know that Euron has a glass candle because we see from the Forsaken chapter in Winds of Winter, he uses it to go inside of his brother's dreams. So we see all 3 forms of communication here. Also, Quaithe used it to go inside of Daenerys' dreams. The reason why I think Quaithe had to do it that way, we can get from the quote that Marwyn says. Marwyn says specifically, the sorcerers of the Freehold could see across mountains, seas, and deserts with one of these glass candles. They could enter a man's dreams and give him visions, and speak to one another half a world apart, seated before their candles. So it seems that if we're taking Marwyn's word for this, and we have no one else to go on in this book, that in order to communicate to each other, there must be two glass candles. A person can't just talk to somebody without another glass candle unless it's in their dreams. Let's get into Euron Greyjoy's use of the glass candles, and what we see him do is basically get inside of people's dreams. But he gives us a lot of insight of what it takes to do that in The Winds of Winter Forsaken chapter. Euron grabbed a handful of the priest's tangled black hair and pulled his head back and lifted the wine cup to his lips. But what flowed into his mouth was not wine. It was thick and vicious, with a taste that seemed to change with every swallow. Now bitter, now sour, now sweet. When Euron tried to spit it out, his brother tightened his grip and forced more down his throat. That's it, priest. Gulp it down. The wine of the Warlocks, sweeter than your seawater, with more truth in it than all the gods on earth. I'll curse you, Euron said. When the cup was empty, liquor dripped down his chin to his long black beard. If I had a tongue for every man who cursed me, I could make a cloak with them. Euron hawked and spat. The spittle struck his brother's cheek and hung there, blue, black, glistening. Euron flicked it off his face with his forefinger, then licked his finger clean. Your God will come to you tonight. Some God, at least. Now this is extremely important, so let's unpack it. We see Euron preparing his brother for him to use the glass candle to enter his dreams that night. So what he does is he gives him a drink called the Wine of the Warlocks. And when his brother tries to spit it out, he forces this drink down his throat. So it seems like if you are going to be visited by somebody with the glass candle while they are sleeping in their dreams and giving them visions, this person must have drinking this wine of the Warlocks. If not, I do not believe it would be effective. That is the reason why he forces it down his throat. So what is this wine of the Warlocks? It is called Shade of the Evening. It is a liquid used heavily by the Warlocks in Karth, whose lips have been turned blue by the extended use of it. The Undying ones have drank so much of it, not only have their lips turned blue, but their entire bodies as well. It has an unappetizing smell and initial taste, but upon swallowing it, tastes like all things the person who has taken it has ever tasted before, and more. Now before Daenerys takes it, the warlike Pri says this to her: one flute may serve only to unstop your eyes and dissolve the call from off your eyes, so that you may hear and see truths that will be laid before you. So we see that he's talking in riddles, kind of lying, because he says that you will see truths. But in that same sentence he says, that will be laid before you. Who is laying before you this truth? Because it's not the real truth, it's the truth that this person wants you to see. And we can see that from Euron and what he does to his brother. His brother Urathon was long dead, yet there he stood. One arm was black and swollen, stinking with maggots. But he was still Yuri, still a boy, no older than the day he had died. You know what awaits below the sea, brother? The drowned god? Euron said. The watery halls? Yuri shook his head. Worms. Worms await you, Ariane. When he laughed, his face soured on, and the priest saw that it was not Yuri, but Euron, the smiling eye hidden. He showed the world his blood eye now, dark and terrible, clad head to heel in scale as dark as onyx. He sat upon a mound of blackened skulls as dwarfs capered around his feet. A forest burned behind him. So we can clearly see that these are not truths. This is the truth that Urathon wants to show his brother. So it's not exactly the true future that he's showing him when he's going inside of his dreams. It seems Quaithe had something different because she warned Daenerys of people that she would encounter later on. So it appears that you can put inside the dreams what you want people to see, and you can see the future also. Now we know that Urathon got this skill or learned how to do this or captured this glass candle, however you want to say it, from Pratt Pre, because he took Pratt Pre hostage, because Zero informs Daenerys, who was the Queen of Meereen at the time, that she had not been gone a fortnight when Pratt Pre set out from Qarth with 3 Warlocks to go to Pentos to seek revenge on her for burning down the House of the Undying. But we see in the Feast for Crows that Euron Greyjoy tells Victorion that he captured 4 Warlocks on the Galas from Qarth. Euron said he killed one for threatening him and then fed him to the remaining Warlocks. So these are exact numbers of the people who went searching for Daenerys. And this is the person who showed Euron how to use the glass candles and how the shade of the evening affected them. And we know this to be true from the same chapter, The Forsaken, in the Winds of Winter. Last were 2 Warlocks of the East, with flesh as white as mushrooms, and lips the purplish blue of a bad bruise, all so gaunt and starved that only skin and bones remained. One had lost his legs. The mutes hung him from the rafter. "Pre!" he cried as he swung back and forth. "Pre! Pre!" That brings us to the Urathon Nightwalker. Now people believe that this person is Euron Greyjoy. It's a common theory. If you never heard it, I will give you all the evidence of why people believe this to be true. Urathon and similar names such as Oregon are common names among the Ironborn. We all know that Euron has been to Qarth. Another character, Urathon High King, Urathon IV, God Brother, is known as Bad Brother. And some people take this as a hint that George R. Martin is saying that this is Euron because we know that he is a bad brother to Victorion and Aeron. Euron Bad Brother was known for arrogance and was opposed by the priest in the King's Moot, the same exact way Euron Greyjoy was opposed by the priest in the King's Moot. Whether you believe they are two in the same, please let me know in the comment section. And if you have been saying to yourself that these powers seem familiar, they are, because they are the same exact powers from the Children of the Forest. They are able to do everything that these glass candles do. So whoever started this is trying to copy the magic of the Children of the Forest. Even the trees that we know the Children of the Forest trees are white with red sap and red leaves. This shade of the evening is made from a tree that has black bark on it, and they use the blue leaves to make this serum. So it's all the same, and I can get into that, but this video is going on long, so I'll have to do another video on it. But before I go, I would just like to announce that the winner of the $25 Netflix gift card is Shannon T. And if you want to win this, all you have to do is be subscribed, leave a comment, and if this video hits 400 likes, I will randomly select somebody. So if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.